We are going to be using the Edmit Fafsa presentation today to go over the Fafsa and financial aid options for college. Edmit has a lot of resources, so you can always head to their website, edmit.me/login, create an account. A lot of their resources are free, so if you wanted to, you could check out some of their resources there. And they also have like practice activities for you as well. So what we're going to learn in this presentation, first, what is the FAFSA? 2, why you should file the FAFSA no matter what. And 3, what info you need to complete the FAFSA. We're going to show you how to file and then what happens after you file. So the FAFSA is your key to financial aid. It is a free application for federal student aid. You submit your first one during your senior year, and then you renew it every year that you're in college. Some aid is distributed on a first come, first served basis. So the earlier that you complete the FAFSA, the better. The filing period opens on October 1st every year and can be completed online. So the different types of aid offered through the FAFSA are grants, which are need-based and don't need to be repaid, mostly need-based. Scholarships, which are usually merit-based and don't need to be repaid. Work study, which is need-based and then requires the student to work part-time, usually with an on-campus job. And these are typically first come, first serve opportunities. Then there's the federal student loans. Almost all students are eligible for some type of federal student loan. This money must be repaid with interest. Everyone should use the FAFSA. Even if you think you can pay for college with cash, you should always complete the FAFSA to see what can be offered. It's typically required for scholarships. So before you file, you're going to create an Fsa Id. You're going to go to fsaid.ed.gov. It is free. The free application for federal student aid, you should never pay to complete a FAFSA. And that username and password allows you access to the FAFSA profile and access your digital signature. So parents and students will each need their own Fsa Id. You can use your Fsa Id when you start the FAFSA to automatically import some information, such as some tax information. So before you file, you'll list the colleges you are interested in. Your FAFSA will be sent directly to those colleges. Each school will have its own code, which you'll include, and you can look up the college codes on the FAFSA government website. Before you file, you can gather your paperwork, so your personal data and financial information. It's all listed here on the screen if you want to pause to see what you will need before you complete the FAFSA. So dependent versus independent students. Most students who move from high school directly to college are going to be considered dependent. You might be independent if you're 24 or older, married, financially support your own children or siblings, are an emancipated minor, homeless, or were in foster care, orphaned, or a ward of the court since turning 13. So even if you've been adopted after 13 or have a legal guardian after 13, if you were in foster care or orphaned or a ward of the court at the age of 13, then you may qualify as an independent student. So filling out the FAFSA, the first section is student personal information. You'll start your application at studentaid.gov. You'll fill in the student's personal details. If you are a man under 25, you must be registered with the Selective Service System. So over 18, under 25, you must be registered with Selective Service in order to finish the FAFSA. And then you'll answer a series of questions to determine the student's dependency status. Parent information on the FAFSA is going to include their personal information. It's also going to include gross income, earnings, assets, excluding your primary home that you live in, tax credits, and then untaxed income such as child support. So all of that will be included. So who counts as a parent? If your parents are married to each other, you'll report both parents' information. If your parents aren't married to each other but live together, you'll report both parents' information. If you live with one parent more than the other, you'll report only that parent's information. If you live with both parents equally, you'll report the info from the parent who provides more financial support. And if you've been legally adopted by someone else, then you'll report that person's information. So here's a little graphic. You can pause to see if you want to follow it to figure out where or who you need to report as a parent. You can pause the video here. Students' financial information also must be included even if they haven't filed a tax return. So students will be asked about their gross income, earning assets, tax credits, and any untaxed income such as child support. So what if your financial situation has changed? So the info that you put on the FAFSA is from prior year. So it's from 2019. If things have changed significantly, you're still going to file the FAFSA as directed with your 2019 information. And then once you've completed and filed the FAFSA, you're going to reach out to the financial aid offices of the colleges you've been accepted to and directly appeal with them regarding your new financial aid or new financial situation. And those financial aid offices use professional judgment to determine what your new EFC is based on your new financial situation. So after you file the FAFSA, you'll receive a student aid report. It may not be immediate, it takes a few days. You'll review the information for errors and then correct them ASAP. During the spring of senior year, and it depends on the university, but usually between like early March to mid-April, you're going to receive acceptance letters and financial aid award letters from your universities. So you'll figure out if you've been accepted to the school, and then you'll receive a financial aid award letter. The financial aid award letters are going to show you a breakdown of what exactly you've qualified for at each school: scholarships, grants, work study, loans. They're going to break that down for you. The 4 factors that determine that breakdown are your year in college, your enrollment status if you're a full or part-time student, the cost of attendance for that specific university, and then your expected family contribution. Cost of attendance is how much it will cost for you to go to a specific college. The expected family contribution is the amount of money the government thinks your family could reasonably pay for one academic year. So your school's cost of attendance minus your expected family contribution is your financial need. FAFSA deadlines for this school year. The federal deadline is any time from October 1st to June 30th of 2022. State deadlines vary. You can check those at the FAFSA website. College deadlines vary. But you can check with the school's financial aid office. For the most part, I recommend having that FAFSA done as soon as possible, so that way schools can give you an accurate award letter once you've been accepted. But definitely check with that college. And just so you know, you do have to refile your FAFSA every year that you're attending college. So Edmit has an activity that you can do to look at your EFC. So you can check that out on their website. And if you have questions or comments, you can send the counseling office an email. You can also check out these resources. I'll link this presentation along with the videos so you can check out the resources that Edmit offers. They've also broken it down into smaller videos, and I'll share that as well. Here are some useful links. Again, you can find these in the linked presentation, but you can check those out as well. Thanks for listening. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, feel free to email Mrs. Dolezal or Mrs. Emmons, and we'll be happy to help.